Assalamu alaikum, my dear students of class 7. I welcome you all to the another exciting virtual lesson organized by Metropolitan School. So my dear students, let's talk about some of the history that how the story is being written. The navigators and the exploratory voyagers kept diaries of their travels. Have you seen that in some of the National Geographic programs, they have written some of the diaries in which they describes the people they meet and the adventure they experiences, the landscapes, the animals and the encounters they have done. Right, my dear students? So, the writer Jonathan Swift took the advantage of this style of diary writing and reporting to create Gulliver's Travel. In Swift stories, Gulliver tells of strange people and the custom and politics of imaginary people he meets. So he wrote up basically, it's in a diary form, like the people have written the diaries before in the era of independence, like some of the people written the diaries on the independence, the freedom, how they get the freedom. So whatever they have seen, they have just written in their diaries, and through their diaries we came to know about the history. Right, my dear students? So the writer Jonathan Swift adopted that way to write this story, The Gulliver's Travel. So my dear students, let's come towards some of the history of the Gulliver's travels as well. That Gulliver's ship has wrecked and he ends up in the land of a people called Lilliputians. They live on two neighboring islands. They are different in appearance from what Gulliver's is used to. Now, this is some of the passage of this book. Now, moving towards the passages. So, you have the passage in your book, that is the Gulliver Travel, which is the war. So, when Jonathan Swift wrote this book, he wanted to make people laugh at their faults by showing them how silly they seem to others. One of the Gulliver travels was to Lilliput, a country where the people were hardly 6 inches. How many inches? Hardly 6 inches. They were not only small in size, they sometimes behave in a small way, as in this passage you have seen. Sometimes even now countries go to war for silly reasons. Now in this passage you will came to know about the silly reason of being into the war. Right, my dear students? So a person Redelsel, a high official, came to Gulliver's house and ordered his carriage to wait at a distance and asked him if he might stay an hour with me, and Gulliver's agreed for that. Obviously, a higher official came to your house for something and to spend time. Obviously, you can agree for this. So Gulliver is too much tall, and the Lilliputians are only 6 inches. So that's why he told that I will lie down, I said, so that you can speak into my ear. But the official, the Redelsel, answered that no, and he preferred to be in his hands during the conversation. So what is the conversation between the Gullivers and the higher official of the Lilliput? That he told a story about how this war began, and he told that although the country may appear to stranger to be at peace, but there is a fear of an attack by its enemies in Blefusco. And what is the reason of the attack? So he continued and he started that the trouble started. He continued in the following way: when we ate eggs, we used to break them open at the larger end, but our emperor's grandfather, while he was a boy, once cut his finger when doing this. For this reason, the emperor, his father, made a law that eggs were to be broken at the smaller end. Are you finding this reason to be in the war and to be in the fight with someone? No, this is a very silly reason. But what happened next? So for this reason there was much anger and fighting between the people, and many people had to leave the country for this very silly reason. They went to the Blefuscu, where they were supported by the emperor of that island, and the war then broke out between these two countries, between these two islands, and the war lasted for how many years? For 3 years, and in which they have lost their 40 ships, smaller and larger as well, and they have lost their soldiers, they have lost their sailors, and so he further tell that probably the enemy's loss are rather greater than ours. Just imagine, on such a small thing. However, he has now got ready a large fleet and is just preparing to come against us, and now they are coming towards them again. And now what's next? His Majesty, knowing your bravery and strength, has commanded me to lay to before you the story of this affair. I replied that as a stranger I ought not to take part in the country's affair, but I am ready to endanger my life to defend his person and state from all who attack them. Now the Majesty, the higher official, wants Gulliver to be in the fight with the Blefuscu, but Gullivers somehow agree on that. Right, my dear students? So the questions aroused in mind. What was the question? That what was the reason of the war? What was the reason of the war? The reason of the war is just they have to, when they ate eggs, they break them open at the larger end, and one of the emperor's grandfather cut his finger, and for that very reason they pass a law that they should cut from the smaller end, and this is the reason of the fight between the two countries, right? So are you finding this reason a silly one or a good one to be fight? Obviously a silly one reason to fight. So there is another part of this story in your book, that I prepared to serve the emperor of Lilliput. Now Gulliver is agreed to serve the emperor of Lilliput. So now the empire of Blefuscu is an island. As I already told you that this is the story of two islands, right, separated from Lilliput by sea about 800 yards wide and 6 feet deep in the middle at high tide. Now I informed the emperor of Lilliput of a plan that I had made to carry off the enemy's whole fleet, which lay in the harbour ready to sail with the first pair. So now what's next? That Gullivers went to the northeast coast, which is opposite to the Blefuscu, just to see the situation, that what are the preparation of the fighting from them. So lying down behind a small hill, and I took out my telescope, and through the telescope he can see that how the things going to be happen, and for that he can make his plan to fight and to overcome with, right? So then he came to his house and gave an order to make the cables and bar of iron. The cable was about as thick as cotton, and the bars were the length and size of knitting needles. To make them more stronger, they twisted together 3 lengths of cable and also 3 of the iron bars. But then he bent the ends of the bars into a hook and tied the cable to it, having the joint together 50 hooks and 50 cables. I went back to the northeast coast. Now why is he doing this so? Why is he making the cable stronger, and why is he adding the hooks at the end? As you have seen the picture in your book of page number 22, you have seen that he pulled the fleet, right? So that's why he make the stronger cable for that, right, my dear students? So what's next? So he taken off my coat, shoes and stockings and walked into the sea about half an hour before high tide, and walked out as quickly as he could, and in the middle swam about 30 yards till I felt the ground. I arrive at the fleet in less than half an hour. Now what is fleet? So fleet is a group of military ships. Now what happened next? When the enemy saw him, they were getting frightened. They jumped out of their ships and swam to the shore. There could not have been fewer than 30,000 men. 30,000 men on the very silly reason. He took his cable, hooked one to the hole at the prow of each of the ship. Prow means the front part of the ship. And then I tied all the cables together at the end. While I was thus employed, the enemy shot several thousand arrows. Several thousand arrows, many of which stuck in his hand and face. Beside the terrible pain, they caused much delay in my work. Obviously, जब so many thousands of arrows were, were shotted, so obviously he was in pain. So what was the greatest fear of Gulliver's at that time? The greatest fear of Gulliver's that he wants to save his eyes, which he should have certainly lost. And if he had not suddenly thought of the pair of spectacles, the glasses which I had in his pocket of his coat. These, as I have explained before, had escaped the emperor's office, and I took them out and see them as firmly as I could upon my nose. Thus protected, I dare to go on with my work in spite of the enemy's arrow. He is not taking care of the enemy's arrow, and he was just go on doing his work. And many of the arrows were stuck against the glasses and the spectacles, but did nothing beyond moving them slightly. So now he had tied all the hooks and taking the knot in his hand and started to pull. Not a ship would move, for they were all held by their anchors. Now what is anchors? So now the most daring part of my work remained. I therefore dropped the knot, and leaving the hooks fixed to the ship, I cut the anchor cables. Have you seen that the ships were tied somewhere with anchors, with the help of anchors? So he cut the anchor cable with his knife easily and pulled 50 of the enemy's largest warships. How many ships? The total of 50 largest warships. So the Blefuscudians they don't have that idea, and they were speechless, and they were surprised as well. They had seen him cut the cables and thought I only intended to free the ships so that they would run into each other. But when they saw the whole fleet moving in order and saw me pulling at the end, they lifted up a cry of anger and fear that is impossible to describe or imagine. So the emperor and his whole court stood on the shore awaiting the success of great plan, and in short time it came within hearing that, holding up the end of the cable which tied up the fleet, I cried in a loud voice that long live the most powerful, the emperor of Lilliput, because obviously they win the war by just pulling the fleet and by just using the technique. So are you finding the reason between the war between the two countries, that is this a good reason to be in the war with two countries? Obviously no, but this is basically a story, and this is the way the story is being written in the form of the diary. Right, my dear student, hope you can understand the lesson. So now let's moving towards the exercises of that chapter. The exercises should be done in your grammar copy, and it is on the page number 25. Right, my dear students. So moving towards the exercises, but before that you will have to do what? You will have to make the title pages in your copies of this chapter and to complete the words meaning, vocabulary meaning and idiom phrasal meanings in your text copy. So now let's moving towards the exercise. Now tell me that to explain nouns. So we use some of the parts of speech, right? We are using nouns, and nouns are the naming words. And to explain the nouns, to explain in what way? Just to tell the characteristic, the quantity, the quality. So the quality and the quantity of a noun, this is a very simple definition, is should be tell in adjectives. So what you will have to do, you will have to add adjectives before and adjective phrases, a group of words after the objects in these sentences. Right, my dear students? Adjectives, the quality and the adjective phrases, which is more than one word, you will have to add after the object in these sentences. So we heard some patriotic music with drum. So have you seen that music is the object and the patriotic is the quality, it's only an adjective, and with drum is the phrase. So next is, they saw a fat man with a long white beard. Again, Robert bought a beautiful pen in blue color. Next, the teacher gave an interesting lesson about the book Gulliver's Travel. So have you seen that in the before the object there is an adjective and after the object there is a phrase, adjective phrases. Right, my dear students? Number 5, he gave the man a hard blow on his head by long stick. Number 6, they sang a beautiful song in a great party. Number 7, she baked a delicious cake with beautiful chocolates. Number 8, his father bought a big house on a beautiful location. Number 9, she borrowed a thick book with colorful title. And number 10, the man was smoking hookah pipe with fresh tobacco. Right, my dear students? I hope you understand this exercise, as this exercise is very easy, and if you have found some of the different words and different phrases, you can add accordingly. So my dear students, there is another exercise on page number 26, exercise B, in which what you will have to do, you will have to add the adjectives before and adjective phrases after the objects and indirect objects in these sentences. So my dear students, this is a very interesting and very easy exercise. Just think of the interesting ways to describe the nouns and the object parts of the sentences, and just to add the information both before the noun and after it. So I am doing the first one for you, that she gave her loving friend sitting at the center table a big present wrapped in a crepe paper. Right, my dear student? Have you seen the details? Have you seen the adjectives in these sentences? Take another example, that they sent the friendly headmaster the neighboring school a group picture of the competition. So have you seen the details in the sentences, that how you describing the nouns, that what is the way to describe the noun? Similarly, number 3, my father lent his younger brother a new digital camera. Number 4, the teacher showed the curious boys in his class a large map of Pakistan. Number 5, my uncle told the young girls in my room a horror story which is in an old book. Number 6, his friend gave the poor man in the park a golden watch in a leather pouch. Number 7, will you show these children from my school your lovely painting on the canvas? Number 8, she handed the starving beggar in tattered clothes some hot food straight from the kitchen. And number 9, that he struck the innocent boy on the skateboard a fierce blow from behind. So have you seen that these are some of the details that you will have to add before the objects and after the objects? These are the adjectives and the adjective phrases. So have you seen that the details, the explanation of the nouns in these sentences? You will have to just do it in a way as I have done it for you. So my dear student, there is a time for home assignments. In home assignment, you will have to first, what you will have to do, you will have to make the title page of lesson number 5, Gulliver's Travel, in your text copy. Do the vocabulary meanings, phrases, idioms meanings in your text copy, and do the exercise A of page number 25 and exercise B of page number 26 in your grammar copy. Right, my dear students? So that's all for today. Hope you enjoyed the lesson. See you in the next virtual class. Hopefully. Allah Hafiz.